So today we're going to be talking about Jamel Herring versus Carl Frampton. So let's get into the video. All right, so first we're going to talk about stats, then we're going to talk about gameplay, and then we're going to have a prediction at the end. First, let's look at stats. Looking at age, there's very little difference here, almost no difference at all. Looking at height, this is where we're going to start seeing big differences, and that is Herring has about 5 inches of height. And then looking at reach, Herring has about 7 inches of reach. So now let's talk about both these guys and what their game plans might look like. Let's start with Jamel Herring first. So the big thing for Herring, if I'm going into this fight and I'm him, you obviously have to use reach. That's clearly something you're going to need to utilize in this fight to keep Frampton at bay and control that volume that's going to be coming at you. If you can control distance and the volume that's going to be coming at you, you can win the fight. But it takes a lot more than that, and that's not as easy as it sounds. The big thing with Frampton is that he's very crafty, he's very quick, and he has good footwork to get inside. And that's where I'm nervous for Herring in this fight. So start up top and then go to the body so you can start your punches and bunches that way like he likes to do. But the big thing is you gotta move. You gotta move and you gotta counter where you can. The big problem with that is Carl Frampton's very good at countering, and we'll talk about that more with him, but you need to find ways to have success in these exchanges. Leo Santa Cruz had found some success through countering Frampton. He also found ways of making sure to match the volume that was coming in at him when they did get inside a phone booth and start fighting. Herring needs to do the same. I know you're the taller guy, but you need to find ways to dig to the body and make sure that you can have these exchanges where in the end, you're not the one losing them over and over again. I think if you can control distance, you can control that volume coming towards you. You need to find ways to counter, and you need to find ways to stay off the ropes so that that reach can be utilized to its full potential. So now let's talk about Frampton and what I think he should do towards the game plan. Obviously, it's Carl Frampton. He's going to throw a million punches at you. He's going to find a way to get on the inside. But the other thing is, the big thing is that counter punching. That counter punching is scary when it lands because he lands very hard. And that is a way to certainly daze and confuse certain fighters, as well as make them nervous about having exchanges with you. It doesn't even have to knock you out. It's just the fact that you're getting countered and you're getting hit in these moments when you're not expecting it. And it makes you nervous to engage because he keeps doing it over and over and over again. And then you're just like, I don't want to engage with him because every time I do, I get the worst end of it. So that's one thing he's got to do. It's a great way to kind of control the fight and the engagements is by that counter punching. And obviously with Frampton, you're going to get that in spades in this fight. Another thing, height is going to be a part, but I don't think it's going to be as big of a part as some people think. And I'll tell you why. Watching how Frampton kind of moves and uses footwork, his hand speed, and deals with taller fighters, one thing he does is he makes them fight smaller. He makes them fight smaller by himself crouching down and moving his head, making them have to also do the same. It makes them have to kind of lower themselves down when they start engaging. You look at Leo Santa Cruz's posture when they are engaging in close proximity, he's almost completely bent over. And that's what Carl Frampton wants. He wants to bring taller guys down to his level and make them fight at his level. But on top of that, he finds ways to get low and throw that right hand in so quickly to just kind of pot shot and start these engagements, making the taller fighter have to go backwards and then hopefully against the ropes where he can have his best success, because now that taller fighter can't stand up the way they want, and now their head movement isn't going to work, and now they have the longer arms and their punches are going to be slower to the target compared to his. So the downside for Frampton going into this fight is that his last couple opponents have not been, let's say, resume building type of opponents. So he hasn't had the toughest fights lately. So let's get to fight prediction now. Okay, so prediction. Now, if I have a bias, I like to let you guys know. I have a slight bias here, and that is Herring is a U.S. Marine, and my grandfather was a U.S. Marine. So I have a soft spot for him. Obviously, I truly appreciate his service to our country, and I love seeing him win. So with that said, This fight is a real 50-50 fight. You have guys that are in their mid-30s and that don't have a lot of fights left when it comes to their professional careers. If I had to pick one to win this, I'm gonna lean towards Carl Frampton, just barely. Just barely. I don't think this is going to be a runaway fight for either guy. I think it's going to be tough to score depending on, you know, what you like to see. But I think Frampton is going to pull it out. I've just seen him do really well against taller guys. I don't feel as though Herring has the power to make Frampton stop coming in and respect the distance that he wants to have and control. That's my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments section below. I think this is a great fight, guys. I think the biggest winner is going to be the fans in this fight. That's for sure. So with that said, we'll talk to you later. Thanks.